playing. So they got a good touch on the ball, good warm-up, just get the feeling, and yeah, then get them ready for action.
And anyone who's new to this will be looking at our finalists preparing, thinking, what are they seeing? Don't worry, you will see exactly what they're seeing on the big screens in just a moment. Do you both remember when you first tried it out? Was it a little strange at all?
For me, it was so similar to real table tennis. I had a sense of familiarity, but also it was kind of foreign because I didn't expect it. So mixed emotions really, but all 100% positive.
Incredible stuff there. So yeah, you can see the crowd is really filling up in here. There are a couple of semi-finalists on the stage warming up. What would you be doing in this stage, Dan, if you were getting ready for such a big occasion like this?
Yeah, I'll be trying to just mentally prepare myself, thinking, you know, focus on one point at a time, not fall into the trap of everything around you. Focus on that point, what my tactics are, what my opponent's weaknesses are, and how to bring my attacks against them. It's really important in table tennis to know your opponent's weakness and suss them out early on.
Talk to us about knowing your opponent's weakness, because I believe some of them have faced each other before, is that right?
Yeah, these two, yeah, this is a first-time encounter, which is going to make it particularly interesting. I mean, Bruce Lee would say there is no opponent, and there is, that ego kind of kill that it takes to be so good, and it's that hunger to win. I mean, these two are such cool cucumbers. I think they'll stay composed, and I think they look like they belong out here. And I know they would have never played on a stage this big, so that is really, really commendable.
Anyone tuning in just now, one of the semi-finalists you're seeing on the stage is the Singapore wildcard. What could you tell us about him?
Yeah, I mean, as Fraser said, he is the underdog here, but a very good table tennis player, very good level, so he can bring that into this. And he's world number 15, so we can't write him off.
And also, he has a 73% career win record. And if you look at the other guys, I mean, there's not so much between them. We know that Hurricane TT Joe has 78%, Selden 36, Carl has 77. But it's Anto above the rest at 87% that is really, really high up at number 2 in the world right now.
Yeah, on screen, this is the player to beat.
On screen, this is the player to beat. Okay, well, it's not quite on screen exactly. He is on screen in terms of the sport, but he's here in front of a packed-out crowd in Singapore. What is it that sets them apart in this game then? Because, of course, the fact that our Singapore wildcard, Chris Jen, is one of the best table tennis players in the world, but in terms of having that success and translating it to the game, what do you need?
You need to have a good timing. So what I mean by that is not take the ball too early or too late, and stay very consistent at your timing point. And again, as I said, try and look at what your opponent's weakness is early on. I think both of these in the first set will have a good understanding of the weakness of the opponent. So going into the second, third, and fourth game, they'll have a good idea of how to play them.
I'm glad you just mentioned set there. For anyone who's new to table tennis or virtual reality table tennis, what's the scoring system?
So it is actually 1 game, 2 game, 3. So it's first to 5 games.
Yeah, so best of 5, first to 11 points.
Yep.
And yeah, 2 serves each.
2 serves each, right? So our players are still warming up, getting ready. We can see a bit of wrist movement there in action. If it was either of you two, what would you be doing?
I think the same thing. I think different players have different sort of preferences. You can see Chris Chen there really revving the wrist back to create some dwell. Someone like Carl, he'd rather just come through the ball flat, almost like he's swatting a fly. It's almost dismissive. So it depends what you're looking for. Do you want to play with more spin? Do you want to play more directly? It'll be interesting to see. And I think in table tennis you have to adapt so much. You can't be too rigid because your opponent's making adjustments all the time as well in order to beat you.
And we just saw Anton in there, the first seed, the best in virtual reality table tennis, having a look around too. Does it ever get a little confusing when you are in that virtual reality world and then kind of forgetting where you are?
Yeah, look, there's some funny videos on YouTube where players, fell over thinking they've got the table there, so they've gone to put their back down and then drop, or some people, hit their TVs or couch. And
yeah, this is something that 11VR definitely had in mind, obviously. There's a lot of health and safety issues that have to be addressed before the game's even launched. They've got a surrounding barrier system, so if you come close to anything that you shouldn't be, you're going to be warned about that, just for the safety of everything around you and yourself, of course.
Right, okay, so on the screen right now, we can see exactly what Antonin and Chris are seeing. They're warming up.
I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Look at this.
Right, so that's the end of the warm-up. I'm going to leave you to your commentary skills, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Just off the bat here, Dan, I'm loving how they've made their avatar's so similar to in real life, actually.
It's fantastic there. Yeah, we're seeing Anto's backhand here very early on, getting in.
Good serve there from Chris Chen, nice and tight to deny the opening attack.
That serve there, good backspin.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
See the spin on the ball.
Just cutting right under it and makes the error there. We talk about the timing. Players just settling in, calibrating. Short rally so far. This shows, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're just trying to get a gauge for each other, the style and what to kind of do.
5-all first game in this best-of-5 semi-final.
Oh. Straight into the body.
Yeah, that was excellent placement, depth and spin. Triple trouble.
As I said earlier, the tactics in VR are actually very similar to the real-life table tennis, you know?
Yeah.
You've seen it right here.
So Anto likes the backhand serve, doesn't he? What are the advantages of the backhand serve, Dan?
Well, it allows him to get his backhand in off the serve, right? If you play a backhand serve, naturally the ball comes back to your backhand with the natural angle of the spin. And Anto's backhand is so solid, so consistent.
I guess another thing is when you do the backhand serve, you can see what's happening directly in front of you, as opposed to standing with a pendulum serve at the side. And there we go, game one. Good start there from the Frenchman.
Very strong, yeah. We know he's world number 2. And he means business. We said to him backstage, he's been very focused, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got a glimmer in his eye, hasn't he? Only 19 years of age, and he is within the top 20 in real table tennis in the French under-21 national rankings. That is a mean feat.
That's a really high level. France is such a strong nation for table tennis. And yeah, top 400 in the men's as well in France. So a fantastic real-life table tennis player. And again, that kind of shows the realism, right? He's the best table tennis player here.
Yeah.
And right now, world number 2 in VR.
The players just waiting for calibration here before the start of game number 2. Can Chris Chen here on home soil try and claw his way back into this semi-final? Imagine if he could.
And as we said, look, Chris Chen, he hasn't got too much pressure on him. You know, I feel like Anto's got the pressure here. He's the one that the players know they need to beat. If Chris Chen can actually beat Anto here, that gives him a lot of confidence going into that final. Oh,
honestly, it'd be like an avalanche of momentum going there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Again, just a reminder, this is their first ever encounter. Never played each other.